Hello guys, hope you all are doing well. After listening to the explanation of the movie, we came to know about a new movie called Tomorrowland. I have seen this movie many times and also seen the explanation. But I don't understand the story of the movie. I don't understand the name of the movie. But today I am going to explain a story. But I am not sure how much I will understand. So without talking much, let's go to the main story. At the beginning of the movie, we see a child named Frank. Frank was a very talented child. He was a very talented child. He had made a jetpack. Jetpack means a bag that can carry a jet engine. And what does a jet engine have? Anyway, that jetpack was sold to Newark by a technology park. But they rejected Frank's jetpack because it didn't work properly. Seeing his efforts being ruined, Frank became very disappointed in himself. And then Frank himself came out of that place. And then he meets a girl named Athena. And she gives Frank a label pen and asks him to follow her. So here Frank follows Athena and takes a water ride. And then this water ride reaches a tunnel. And then it is scanned here. And then it reaches a lift. But as we see the work of the lift, we can understand that this is not a lift. This is a teleport machine. If you enter this machine, you can go from Europe to America. No need for a plane or ship. So as soon as Frank reaches Tomorrowland in the teleport machine, and seeing everything in Tomorrowland, Frank becomes very disappointed. Because everything here was of high technology. So Frank feels like a different world. And when he sees all this, then a robot takes his jetpack and makes it more high-tech. And then Frank gets scared of the trees. And then to save himself from the trees, when he goes to jump, he falls down from the bridge. But as he falls, he gets the jetpack in his hand and then he gets out of the hand. So then Athena tells Frank about this country. She calls it Tomorrowland. And tomorrow means that it is a country in the future. It means a future or advanced city. So it was fun to stay with Frank Athena. And in Tomorrowland, there is a lot of high-tech invention. The country is always inhabited by Medivhi. And how is it that everyone in Tomorrowland is only a Medivhi? You will know later. So anyway, we see that about 5 to 9 years have passed. And then a girl is seen on our earth whose name is Casey. And Casey's father, Nasser, is an engineer. And Casey wants to destroy a program of Nasser. Because if this automatic program is fixed, Nasser will never be able to provide his father. And for this, his father will lose his job. So when Casey goes to do this, the police see Casey and Casey gets arrested. And then Casey is released. And in his stuff, Frank got a level field, a pin. So when Casey tries the level pin, he reaches Tomorrowland with the help of a teleporter. So when he reached Tomorrowland, he was very surprised to see the things around him. Because he had never seen such an advanced world in his life. And he was very happy to see the advanced high technology here. So he thinks about something in Tomorrowland, he sees everyone, but no one sees him. And then we see that the level pin in his hand has started the countdown. It means that the battery of the pin is low. So when the battery is low, then we see that he is in the water. It means that he was in the world, but through that device, the whole world around him had become Tomorrowland. It was like watching a video. So then Casey and his brother get confused. And his brother gets very confused. And then they search a lot on eBay. And they search on the internet and find a pin or coin like this. And they find the address of a shop. And then Casey goes to that shop. And the shopkeeper of that shop shows them the badge. And the shopkeeper gets surprised to see the badge. And the shopkeeper keeps asking Casey about the badge. Where did you get it? Who gave it to you? And Casey doesn't know anything about the badge. And he gets the pin or badge with his ID. And he asks him if the little girl gave it to you. Casey says, I am not a little girl. And at that moment, they start shooting Casey with a gun. And Casey runs away from there and starts saving his life. And then we see that Athena enters. And Athena fights a lot with these two people. And in this fight, she kills the shopkeeper. And then we can understand that these two shopkeepers were robbers. Then Athena and Casey try to get out of here. But then the shopkeeper, who was a robber, blasts him. And the shopkeeper goes to the shop. But Athena and Casey are able to get out of there. And then Athena tells Casey about the Tomorrowland. That it is only for the smart people. And then Athena tells Casey that you are selected to go to Tomorrowland. And this level M pin is only for the smart people. And they are selected from all over the world to make Tomorrowland better. And then he talks about Frank. And then he drops Casey in front of Frank's house. And then Casey wants to meet Frank. Because he had gone to Tomorrowland. But Frank doesn't let him in. But then Casey requests a lot. But he doesn't like Frank. And then Casey stands in front of the door. And Frank looks at him from the outside. But then he doesn't let him in. And then Frank sees a fire-breathing bulldozer coming towards his house with CCTV. And then Frank opens the door and gets out. And with a high-tech device, he makes the whole bulldozer freeze. And Casey enters Frank's house. And Casey sees a lot of advanced things and gets impressed by Frank. And then he goes to a room where he can see a lot of screens. And a lot of things were being played there. But then Casey sees a countdown on Saturday. And Casey gets very confused. And then Frank comes there. And then Frank tells him to leave. But Casey doesn't want to go. Casey says, I want to go to Tomorrowland. But Frank demotivates him. And with that, Casey asks about the things on the screen. And asks, the countdown on Saturday. Does that mean that the Earth will be destroyed in 60 days? So then Frank understands the matter and says, yes, it's true. The Earth will be destroyed in 60 days. And a future is being shown. But Casey doesn't believe him at all. And says it can't happen. But Casey's belief is a magical event. That is, the Earth destroying scene on the screen will decrease. And the chances of the Earth being fixed will increase. But Frank feels that the future depends on people's belief. And since Casey believes that the Earth will be destroyed, the future has changed a little. So then when the two of them were talking, we see that some robots have been sent from Tomorrowland to attack Frank and Casey. And those robots attack their house. And Frank sits in a bathtub to escape from Casey's robots. And before the robot attacks them, the bathtub flies like a rocket and rises from there. And then the house is blasted. And the robots are destroyed along with the house. And then the bathtub goes into a river. But now they are on Earth. So when they rise from the river, Frank sees Athena after many years. And he is very angry with Athena. And the reason is that Athena hid the truth from him. Frank never said that she was a human. She was a robot. And at that moment, we see a lot of fight between Frank and Athena. It looks like they are talking about ex-girlfriend and boyfriend. So now they are planning to reach Tomorrowland. And for this, 3 people are sent to the Eiffel Tower with a teleportation device. And after reaching the Eiffel Tower, Frank tells Casey that many years ago, he built a place in the future of NASA, Alpha, Edison, Eiffel, Tesla. And that place is called Tomorrowland. And the scientists' intention was that it would be such a place where scientists can discover new things without any worries. And then Frank says that many people think that the purpose of building this Eiffel Tower is to show the beauty of the city. But actually, it was not made for the beauty. It is an antenna through which the frequency can be sent from here to Tomorrowland. And there is a way to the city from here to Tomorrowland in this Eiffel Tower. So then we see that Frank runs a machine, and then the Eiffel Tower is divided into two parts and a rocket is launched from below. And if there is ever a problem on Earth, then the scientists had created this system to get out of here. But the scientists never had to use this technology because there was no problem on Earth at that time. So then we see that the three people sit on the rocket and then they reach Tomorrowland and meet the governor of Tomorrowland. And the people who are living in Tomorrowland are the Earthlings. And the people who are living in Tomorrowland are the Earthlings. So when Frank sees the governor of Tomorrowland, he says that the machine I have built to see the future will change with the belief of the people. But the governor does not believe this at all. And then to convince the governor, Frank takes Casey to his future machine. So after going to the future machine, they saw the future and Casey was very talented. So Casey learns to control this machine very easily. So Casey goes to the future and sees the future with this machine. And when he sees the future with this machine, he can see that his house has been destroyed. But Casey does not believe this at all. And when Casey says that it cannot happen, then we see that the future will change there. And the house will be exactly the same as it was before. And it seems that the destruction of the earth has changed in the future. But after seeing all this, he does not believe the governor's Frank. And the governor Frank says that the earth is getting worse day by day. And there is a way to destroy. But the people of the earth could understand this, and the earth will be completely destroyed in a month. And this story says that the governor locks up the three of them. And we can understand that the governor actually does not want the earth. So sitting in jail, Athena says something. She says that Frank has created this machine and wants to see the future. So the future is what we believe in now. That is, what people believe now, it will be in the future. So that's how the future machine shows the future. And then Athena says that the future seen in this machine is somehow sending the message of that future to the earth. And the head of the Earth's people is hoping that the Earth will be destroyed in the future. And that's why people have believed that the Earth will be destroyed. So how can this happen? The machine of seeing the future is destroying people's heads. Or people believe that the Earth will be destroyed. And that's why people are giving up hope. And then Cassie says that if we can stop the negative message of the earth from this machine of the future, then the people of the earth will think positively. And their positive thinking will definitely change the future. So then Cassie and Frank tell this to the governor. But the governor doesn't listen to them. That is, the purpose of sending these messages to the earth is to make the people of the earth hopeful. And not do anything for their planet. And get destroyed. And Cassie can understand that the governor of Tomorrowland and they want to destroy the earth and stay there as human beings, and then the governor says to keep these three people on earth. So last time he wants to join hands with the governor, and when he joins hands with the governor, he presses a button on the governor's hand which opens a portal to go to earth, and Frank's intention was that since the governor has no concern about the earth, he will bring him to earth, and then, from behind, Ethan And Casey will destroy the future machine so that no negative message goes to the people of the earth from here. But here it is written that the machine cannot be stopped in any way in the future, it has to be destroyed. And when Casey goes to the lift to destroy the Tomorrowland with that bomb, then what do the robots do? They take the lift down and the bomb is on this side so that it will blast at some time. So since there is no time in hand, then what Ethan does is he opens the portal door of the earth again and throws it into the earth, and that comes to the governor and Frank, and then the two of them start running towards Tomorrowland, and then the bomb is blasted, and after the blast, a sheet comes on the governor after coming to Tomorrowland, and then Ethan and the little robot can see from the future machine that the governor will shoot Frank in 4 seconds, and seeing this, Ethan and Drew save Frank, and Casey goes to the governor and takes the gun, and we see Ethan. He is very injured and is deactivating means he will die after a while. So last time, Ethan tells Frank, when I was with you, I wanted to tell you that I am a robot, but before telling you, I felt something that is not in my programming means he is a robot, but if David knew that he is a robot, he would have felt the pain. So then Ethan says, Frank, turn on my self-destructive button and take me to that machine. So then Frank turns on his self-destructive mode, and with his small jetpack, he goes to the machine to see the future, and then we see that the robot named Ethan is crushed, and with him, the machine to see the future is also over, and that machine comes to the governor, and the governor also ends there. And now we see Casey opens the portal of Tomorrowland and meets his father, and since Casey's brother and his father are both engineers and both are scientists, so they also get the feeling of being in Tomorrowland. And in the last scene of the movie, we see that Frank and Casey are the current governor of Tomorrowland, and they have recruited more scientists from the earth who want to do something new or invent something, and they want to make something better for Tomorrowland. And with that, we see that 60 days have passed and the earth was destroyed 60 days later. But after that, the earth was not destroyed, because by shutting down the machine to see the future, the negative thoughts in people have been removed, and people now believe that the earth will not be destroyed. So the earth will not be destroyed for this, and the movie ends here. So whatever the movie may be imaginary, but there is a small message in the movie that is, if you think today you will do something good in the future, then you will definitely do that kind of process, and that process will put you in a good position in the future. But if you think today, it is not possible for me to pass, it is not possible for me to do that, it is impossible to give a good grade, then you will ultimately fail. So in this way, you can control your future. So take care of yourself now. Take care. Allah Hafiz.